In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can design a chess piece using Blender, and you could potentially print this out into an actual physical item. The first thing you're going to want to do is get rid of the default cube that is loaded into Blender when you open it. You just want to hit X and then click on the delete menu that shows up, and so you should have nothing. And what we want to do is we want to add in a circle. So you're going to go add, hover over mesh, and click on circle. We want to fill in this circle to begin designing our chess piece. So what we're going to want to do is go to edit mode. So you click on this little button down here and click on edit mode, and then just type F on the keyboard and it will fill in the circle. Once the circle is filled, we can begin building from the ground up our chess piece, and we can figure out in a little bit what exactly we want to design, but all your chess pieces usually in general are going to have a circular bottom. So this is the bottom of our chess piece. You can see it's 2D. It doesn't have any depth yet, and that's basically what we're going to do. We're going to give it depth. So to set up the perspective that we're going to want to be viewing this object as, we're going to push 5 on the numpad, and what that's going to do is switch it from perspective mode to orthographic mode. And in orthographic mode, it's going to make it a lot easier to look at this object and build it for our purposes. And so after you hit 5 and switch it to this view, you're going to hit 1, and that'll look at it straight on. So we're looking this edge on in orthographic mode. So now that we have our perspective set up, what we're going to want to do now is start building our object. And in our case, I'd like to build a pawn chess piece. So what you're going to want to do is type E as in echo on the keyboard. And what that's going to do is allow you to extrude this layer, this circle piece of mesh that we inserted in. And I'm going to drag up a little bit and then click. And if you look, we have a nice solid foundation of our pawn chess piece. I'm going to push up 1 on the numpad and return to this perspective. And so that's really what we're going to be doing throughout. We're going to extrude and click. But to change the size of each layer, you can push S as in scale to scale the selected horizontal layer. And so I'm going to drag in a little bit and click, and then extrude, and maybe I can scale this a little bit if I want. Maybe I can just leave it and go up a little bit more and scale out a little bit. And that's really the essence of what we're doing. You extrude, you click, and you can change the size of it if you want by pushing S. I want to keep this one the same. I'm going to extrude, click, and then push S to change the size. And then drag the mouse to where I want it. And it looks good. I'm going to extrude up a little bit. And let's see. Let's extrude up a little bit more and make this one like that. Go up, and let's go up one more time, bring it in, and then I'll start the main part of this pawn. And I'm going to hit extrude, go up, and once I'm here, I'm going to make this a little bit smaller, extrude again, and make it a little bit bigger here. I'd like to have a little layer right here at the top, so you can see a little layer at the top before we get to this sphere that'll be at the top of this. And that looks pretty good. Technically I could build the sphere in this mode and in this perspective, but what I'm going to do is go back to object mode and just add in a UV sphere. So add mesh UV sphere, and then just bring this up And let's scale it down a little bit. And it should be pretty decent. Yeah, this looks like a decent chess piece. Now, if I want to edit some of these layers, it's totally possible. So I'm going to make sure that my the base is selected. And what I'm going to do is click on Edit Mode. Let's go back to this side view by pressing 1 on the numpad. And say I want this bottom layer thicker, like I want it to go down a little bit. What I'm going to do is push B as in boy and select the layer that I want. And you're going to want to actually, you can push 3 on the numpad to change your side. Actually, just go ahead and drag the mouse, change your whole perspective. Make sure, see how only half of the orange vertices are selected. What you want to do is make sure they're all selected. So what I'm going to do is change the perspective, push B as in boy again, and select, and just make sure these are all selected. And once it's all selected, I could just actually just drag this down and make that a little bit thicker if I wanted to. And you could do this for any of these layers. Say I want this center part to be a little bit thicker. What I can do is hit B as in boy. I'll try to just get this top part here. Okay, looks like I got half of it. And let's go ahead and get the other half. And there, it looks like the whole top is selected. And I can just drag this up. And you see it's going to make this level here thicker. So yeah, you can play around with it a little bit, but it's the idea of selecting and extruding and moving in this edit mode. You can virtually build many different chess pieces with that method.